What's good, guys? Here with Mike the Used Book Guy. You said you hit a library sale recently?
Yeah, today, dude. 2 p.m. it started. I got there at probably got there like 1:25-ish. I'm not one of these crazy people that likes to get there like the first person in line. I don't think there's that much value. I value my time more than I value being first in line. And I was about sixth in line, and I got 2 IKEA bags. I spent $150.
Nice. How many
Dude,
books
there's
is
a
that?
dude. There was a dude with crutches, and he had one of those things you can knee around on, and he was scanning. It was him, and I guess maybe his daughter or wife. And yeah, dude, he crutched his way down the steps to the basement and was scanning.
No fucking excuses, guys.
Dude, I'm sitting here, right? So like the line is like up the steps from the basement to the first floor, and I see this guy with crutches, and I'm thinking to myself, like, is he like a volunteer? No. So I guess they were first in line, so they must have got there ahead of everybody. So he's crutched his way down the steps 5 minutes before the sale started, and his ass is in there wheeling around, dude, scanning away.
Oh yeah.
It was good though. I went straight to the DVDs.
Nice. That's interesting because I don't know if you've seen my videos recently on library sales, but as I make these videos, I'm like, me and Mike disagree on a lot of things when it comes to library sales. Like you're like first to DVDs, even children's, right?
Yeah.
Those are like my last 2 categories. And I think my way makes sense in my head, but I think your goal is maybe to avoid the competition a little bit and just chill and have a good time.
Yeah, you're right. Right. I'm trying to get in and out there as quick as I can. And the crazy part is, dude, right? Like there's so many ways we can make money. Like me and you could be complete opposite, but the one thing we got in common is like we actually go to the sales and put in the time and the effort.
Yeah, 100%.
They went straight to the history section, right? So like if there was no DVDs, right? I'm going in, I'm hitting religion and self-help first. A lot of people like going to history. I hate biographies. Just skip that whole section. I'd rather scan fiction than the biographies. I think biographies are just apps. The only good thing about biographies is sometimes you can find one that's like signed by somebody famous, but like other than that, I hate biographies.
Yeah. And are you hitting the textbook section?
I'll scan. But if I hit one, I'll just see what it is on like Book Scouter to see how much I can get for it. So like, I'll still scan.
Let me show you a textbook real quick. I just bought a textbook. Let me show it to you. I want to see if it's counterfeit. So I think this came up like $60 profit, and I think it sold for 50 plus a few times. I'm not like a counterfeit book expert. Obviously, my account got shut down for that. But to me, it looks pretty cheaply printed, but it's Oxford. So if you look here, I don't know if they make books that, you know what I mean? Like
the books that just kind of like. I would personally send that. I don't have a problem sending in those Oxford press books.
Yeah, is that just the way they print them? You can see the bindings like that.
Yeah, they're not. Go ahead.
What'd you say?
I said they're not like their books usually are like the bigger trade paperbacks, kind of like you have. I rarely see like hardcover Oxford presses.
Yeah, because it's nice profit. Price is super inflated. Pull this up on GoToLister real quick. I've been trying to practice.
I only steer clear of like Cengage, Wiley, like the big ones, the McGraw-Hills. There are exceptions, right? Because like the how-to for dummy books are Wiley, and I'll send those. I don't really consider them textbooks.
Yeah, at a certain point on Amazon, it comes down to like what brands actually make the claims, and when you know what brands do, you steer away from them.
Yeah.
And Oxford, I've never really heard people have issues with that. Now Pearson, on the other hand,
yeah, I'm steering clear of Pearson for sure.
Yeah, but let me pull this up real quick. Have you used the Keepa on GoToLister mobile app yet, or not really?
No, I just use Keepa when I'm listing on GoToLister.
Yeah,
I appreciate the free.
I forgot how good it is. Like I still, de nada. I'm paying for those server fees. Let's see here. I forget how good it is on GoToLister. I still use Keepa on the Keepa app, if I'm being objective, my favorite Keepa is probably the one like on the Safari website, but you have to like, it's so glitchy, it's hard to use. And the reason why I like that is you can zoom out to all time. So when I scan a book that's like $100 profit, if it hasn't sold in the last 3 years, the Keepa app only shows you 3 years. GoToLister only shows you 1 year, I think. But
Yeah.
on some of these books, I want to see like all time. So I have to go to keepa.com, or Seller Amp actually allows you to see all time. So we might work on that, but I don't think for listing it's that important. You've already made the buying decision.
Yeah, I mean, and we shouldn't be buying things that we're not planning on selling for 25 years anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Okay, human rights and global health. One thing I don't like about it is Amazon's on the listing, but you can see it's sold for 40 plus 2 times recently. Right there. So just something cool you can do. I listed these in the car. I made this whole batch in my car. So the next thing I'm going to do, you can see the whole batch is right there. Just scanned them in. The next thing I'm going to do is get my wireless Rollo printer. I'm going to put it in the back of the car.
I seen your post. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have them coming out and literally just label them and take them into UPS. So I'm excited for that.
So what you're saying is you can be homeless and make 6 figures selling on Amazon.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. It's like once you understand it, because the problem is like there is a learning curve. You know, like some guy was in there taking pictures of the book, and I'm like, oh, how long you been selling for? And I thought he was using like the Amazon Seller app. He's just taking pictures of the book, and he might be watching this right now. He just subscribed to the channel, and I'm like, most people just don't know that like there's probably in any thrift store like $500 profit if you truly dug for it between like what's on the shelf, what's in the back room, and people just don't get it. And he's taking pictures of it. I'm like, great, you know, you're building your book collection, but and then even if he did want to sell books, he's probably going to make the beginner mistakes of not understanding what actually sells. But for me, that's my favorite right there, where it's like those consistent sales like that.
Guaranteed. Yep.
Obviously you want like a lower sales rank that hangs out like 15,000 or something, but this is like almost as good. No FBA offers, decent price, and consistent spikes, you know. So I mean, we really should like the scanning tools should have something that looks just for like that kind of pattern of consistency. That would be the next thing, like consistency score.
Once you're once we get that GoToLister scanning app and take over the universe completely, then we actually can have some innovation with the scanning apps. Because I agree, I think, you know, just think about how much of my business is like no FBA items, or like items that maybe I scan it and there's one FBA offer and the jackass is selling it for $10, but it's really like a $20-$30 item. Like without those items in my business, I'm like, I probably lose 30 to 40% of my overall income. So the fact that we can't have a scanning app, I guess it benefits me, right? Because I guess it benefits people that pay attention, because we actually can catch those profits. But like you said, if you just go in and you're not paying attention, it scans red if there's one bozo on the listing that's FBA every single time, when really that could be a fast moving book that sells right away.
Yeah, one FBA, that would be cool. Keep a price history consistent, and like if it was at a higher price in the past. Shout out to Booksy. They're actually our competition, but I met up with Omer recently. He might be at Books and Beyond. One thing I like that their app has done is they look at what's in your inventory and what you've sold it for. So we'd probably incorporate that. Like if you sold a Disney CD or DVD in the past for like $50 and currently low FBA is at 24, it would remind you that. And maybe that's a scenario where there's only one FBA. And when that guy does sell, it's going to go back up to 50 potentially if you price it at that. But you only know to price it at that if you've sold it before, or if you looked at the Keepa. And if we have the Keepa and the whole story of like, hey, this buy box at 50 and we think this guy sold out, we had like a consistency score, like this book sells consistently. I think that would because that's kind of what we're doing with our eyes. Like that's why you're looking at every single item, and we're never going to get it perfect. You know, and that's what makes this business good, is you do eventually build this skill of being able to look at the book, look at the Keepa real quick. But you're not even looking at Keepa in the field. That's something else we kind of are different on. You're looking at the data, right? You're not opening Keepa.
Hell no. Never once.
Maybe that'll change.
If
First
you
time
make
I
it
caught
free
this
for me,
live.
maybe I'll try it out.
Yeah. A lot of I just can't say no to it because I've had that one experience where I scanned that Jewish set and I made $2,000 on it, or 1,600 after fees, and like I just can't ever like not look at Keepa while I'm outsourcing again. A lot of times textbooks will have the university bookstore use stickers on the side and back, and those can usually help confirm they're authentic.
No. That's a bad take. Because what happens when your ass gets banned? You're gonna be like, oh, there was a sticker on the back that said, "This is legit." Like you're screwed.
That bookstore can sell you counterfeit books. That bookstore can sell counterfeit books, but we can't get away with it. And that's why it's important to know what publishers to look out for. Go to booksrun.com, use their counterfeit calculator, and more importantly, just know Pearson, Cengage, McGraw-Hill are the ones that will look for authenticity. I think the real way, the 100% way, is I know McGraw-Hill has authenticity stickers they stick on it. So that's a legit way to do it. What up, Thrifty Trotter? Got the Asian guy coming in again. I might have missed it. Where's Romer today? We're near the Grand Canyon. Matt, out of California now. We didn't make it all the way up your way. I think you're in Northern California. We made it up to Yosemite, north of Yosemite, Tuolumne Meadows, and then we headed down. I don't appreciate you talking about Jewish book sets. Steve's Jewish. That's why he makes a good business partner. He cuts the expenses. Between the gym, I'm gonna get canceled. Between the gym and jiu-jitsu practice. Yeah, I've been slacking on the jiu-jitsu lately. Trying to bulk back up a little bit. Been hitting arms. So as long as my arms are big, I'm happy. There we go. You got to get the go-to Lister sleeveless shirt. Where do you find books to buy? Just online, Facebook Marketplace, or do you have any good sites you want to rip away at that one?
If you're talking about online arbitrage, I thought about this all the time, right? If I move out to the middle of sticks, right, I message Steve and I'm like, yo, look me up with that replay catcher. And I just become the replay catcher guy, like 100%. I think like the idea of sourcing online is a great opportunity, but I think there are a lot of caveats to it, especially in the beginning, because when we all start, we're like dead broke, right? Like we don't got money, and it is a little bit more capital intensive. But just look for free pickups in the beginning. Facebook Marketplace, create your own little free ad on Craigslist next door. Dude, books are everywhere. I know it's like no question's a dumb question, but everywhere we look, there's books. Every thrift store, every rummage sale, everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah. I want to normalize this. I want to talk about this more, but like, it's not just about buying books that we think are good. It's these books here. And speaking of replay catcher, if you look at Steve's inventory, I used to have access to his go-to Lister account. I probably still do. And I was like, is this guy really making money? And I scrolled through every ASIN he had, and he's selling like a bunch of $100 plus eBay items, a lot of electronics, different things like that, books even. And all of the Keepagraphs are just like consistent green sales. So yeah, I think you guys should really be looking at the Keepas. Maybe it's just during the listing phase with go-to Lister, but now if it's like a sub 100K ranked book, you don't need to, but just confirming that there's these consistent sales over time is really going to prevent you from being one of the YouTube watchers that comes on our live and is like, I sent in 2,000 books. I get this message at least 4 times a year where people are like, I'm looking to sell my store. Yeah. I'm like, well, how many? Yeah, 2,000. Well, they're probably all trash. Why are you trying to sell it? Your account's not shut down. Like, nobody wants your books. And I guarantee you, if they looked at the Keepa and saw this green, solid price history of sales, they wouldn't be saying that. Now I'll show you I don't have any bad Keepas on here because these are all good books. Let's see if I can find a close to bad one. This one's a close to bad one, but when we're talking about paying a couple bucks for the book for like potentially a $30 plus return, I mean, Amazon's on the listing, only a few sales, and somebody's calling me, only a few sales in the last few months. Like, we want to stay away from that, but a lot of times what you'll see is people will have Keepas like that on like a $10 book, and you send your inventory in with a bunch of Keepas that look like this with $10 books, you're screwed. Now, if these are $100 books, you're fine, because 1 in 10 will sell. 2 in 10, 3 in 10, whatever it is. So just get in the habit of looking at that Keepagraph. And if you guys want is what I recommend now. While you're in the store, go ahead and pull up the Go-To-Lister app and start scanning in the books. You can scan the books in your batch just like normal on your phone, and then you can quickly hover over the Keepa icon, and that's what we're looking for right there. Those consistent sales.
I think it's all your fault, because the more I think about it, right, is you got smart pricing and Go-To-Lister, and I think a lot of people take it at its word, and it's not that Go-To-Lister is busted, it's that Amazon's busted, right? So how many items when I'm out scanning, the used buy box is higher than the new buy box? And we'll go ahead and list those items, and we won't take a second to look at the Keeper graph, even see what it sold for previously, and then we send it in thinking it's a $35 buy box book, when in reality it's a $12 book, and then that buy box is just super inflated. I see more and more of this lately, but you're right. Like, it's not as easy as it used to be, but that benefits people that are actually treated like a business, because understanding the data, that's all we're doing here. You don't need no knowledge on any books. I can't tell you shit about books, but I can go out and I can source hundreds, thousands of them every single month.
Yep. And speaking of the no FBA offers, here's a book here. You see that purple text at the top. There are 0 FBA offers on the listing. And speaking of Go-To-Lister not being perfect and making mistakes, the whole reason why we programmed it to say that is we realize our app and all apps are limited. So by giving that purple right there, it's telling you, hey, you should probably price this higher. And if we look at the Keepa graph for this one, you can see consistent sales. There's no FBA offers truly on this listing. And you can see that pink line was there for a little bit. That's when there was an FBA offer, and it sold out at $34 around. So Go-To-Lister price is at 10, but with that no FBA offer notification, now what I can do is I can quickly go in here and price this at $33.99, just like that, and I can update that price. And so now this book is going to be that's like an extra $20.
That's it, dude. That's literally, you just summed everything up we just talked about. Like, that little detail that people won't pay attention to. Like, I've literally priced probably 1,000 items with Go-To-Lister on the YouTube channel, and like, I explain every single one, and I just want people to take the time when they're listing their books to look at the price. Yeah, we have smart pricing. It's guidance. It's going to get us more money for fast movers. It alerts us to what we need to do with the price of the item, and not just let it do it all on its own. And that's how you win in this business nowadays.
Yeah. It's kind of closing that gap on, like, when you're in the thrift store, you scan the book, it's a $9 low merchant price, no FBA offers. Mike told you to buy it because there's no FBA, but then you get home, you're tired, you list the books fast, ship them out. 2 weeks later, the book sells for $9 when you should have priced it at $19.99. So I think closing the gap, either maybe during the listing phase when you get home, or do it in the car when you get in, or do it before you check out. Make sure you're not restricted, do all that. Because how many times have we bought a book, get home, we can't sell it, listing's bad, XYZ. You're actually closing that loop by listing it in store. So I'm going to be making some videos on this. And I know me personally, I would have done this. I know a lot of personalities aren't like me though, but schedule the send. By the time you get home, the FNSKUs can be printed instantly on your computer. And it's like the good old days with no split shipments. And we got the books run counterfeit calculator notifications.
You got it all. You spoil us, man. Yeah, you just take care of us, and we're fine with it. We're forever in your debt.
All right, let's move on to some questions. Your account don't not qualify, how to solve it.
Sell more, sell through. If you're talking like books, the majority of the catalog is going to be gated when you first start, but as Amazon sees you're actually putting in effort, gates will come down automatically. Mike's looking fit. My wife got me. We're working out 5 days a week now. She was working out. She's like, hey, you got to start trying this out. So like, I'm on the 5-pound dumbbells right now. Listen, I'm not scared to admit anything. I am not flexible, and even the 5s, I'm like hurting doing the Arnold presses and everything.
Yeah, get that weight up. Lugging books making us all so fit and handsome.
10 boxes, Avery, up and down this weekend. 10 boxes of books, CDs, DVDs from the.
Yeah, you're lifting 5-pound dumbbells, but you're lifting 50-pound boxes.
Hey,
so
it is what it is.
So what's the budget for a beginner? As little as you want starting out. If you really want to do this business, you can start with $0. Amazon will front you the labeling cost. You could theoretically go pick up a bunch of books for free on Facebook Marketplace, list them, ship them out, pay Amazon the label, go a little bit in debt with Amazon. But if you've made good purchasing decisions, looked at the keeper graphs, all that, then they'll start selling. And I mean, the $40 per month subscription, but hopefully your sales cover that in the first month or two. So the real answer is zero. But I mean, a couple $100 is nice. Buy yourself a printer, tape gun, all that. But you can get boxes for free. You can use the tape at UPS. I'm guilty of that. I've done that plenty of times.
You can go to gotolister.com/Mike and get a free 30-day trial, not the 14-day Avery wants to offer you. I got 30 days. So yeah, take advantage of that.
And you also, if you join his group, what do you get? You get $5 off.
$5 off, dude.
Right?
We got a monthly call, dude. I mean, we got it all out there for everybody to just start today, start making serious money, and that don't get no easier.
Mastering the old books, where do you sell? I mean, old books you can sell on Amazon. I sound like a broken record here, but just look at the Keepa. If you see those consistent, and by consistent, even 2 times a year with no FBA offers or no offers at all, is still pretty good, you know? So if the average sales price is there, if you're sitting in old books, but the average sales price is $50 plus, just realize 80% of them might not sell, but the 20% that do will be worth it. Young Max is doing a restricted inventory consignment. It sounds like, any thoughts? Sounds like he's doing good with it so far. He sounds really driven. So, you know, send in a couple boxes, see how it goes. And if he pays you, keep using them.
He'll pay, and if not, you reach out to me. The only reason he kind of wanted to start it is because my group has a lot of people that got restricted with the universal gates, and he's seen it as an opportunity. But I mean, I don't know how far he plans on growing it, but it's a good way to make extra money. I tell everybody, like, if you're gated in it and still profitable, whether it's restricted inventory or Max or whoever it is, or buyback companies, like, if we're still making money, it's kind of like me with the textbooks. Like, yeah, does it suck that I can't get the $40 that Avery's going to get for that textbooks, but I still get $20 and I spent 99 cents and I'm just throwing it in a mailer? Like, I'm okay with that all day long.
Yeah. And he sounds like he's communicating with people, and that's the number one thing. If you ever do a consignment with someone, can you reach out to them, get an answer on where your inventory's at, all that. But it's a good way to support the community too, and it opens up doors to opportunity. Because people that send me a lot of inventory, I'm always like, okay, I take them more seriously when they offer me books to sell or things like that. So we are not using Scout IQ. I'm using Scoutly. Primarily, my reason is, well, I have a couple reasons, but I'd say, like, functionality wise, I like that Scoutly notifies me when there's like no FBA offer potential books. Kind of inadvertently, what it does is, like, if you scan a book without that much data, it automatically turns it green. Doesn't mean it's a good book, but it gets your attention and you can look at the Keepa. And so I'm a big fan of that. And Mike, you probably have your reasons too.
Yeah, I agree. Same exact reasons why. And I actually switched because back in the day, before most of the people watching this, there was inventory limits. So we couldn't send things FBA. So we needed to send things FBM. So the benefit that Scoutly had over Scout IQ at the time was that Scoutly will show you the FBA and the FBM profit at the same time. Versus Scout IQ, if you wanted to see the FBM, you had to switch trigger sets. And if you want to see the FBA, you had to switch back trigger sets. That was my main thing. And all I know is whatever year you decide to roll out the scanning software, just don't put Scout in the beginning of it. And don't be like, go to IQ. And use some different colors besides orange and green.
Yeah. I don't even think we're branded different, but Dom wants to keep it all the same. Go to lister. I might call it go to, I don't even know. I was going to say go to Scout, but that would... Go to scan. How about that?
I'm fine with it. It's a different word. I'm fine.
We'll run it by you. What does Books Run Calculator actually tell us in terms of pure risk to sending to Amazon? I think it is limited in what it finds. And I think the knowledge that we have as a community, you know, we know OZ is the law firm that test buys. We know they test by Pearson books. We know they test by McGraw-Hill books, Cengage books. And so we even know what ASINs they test by. If you ask around, you can, you know, get those ASINs from the community. Ask people who have been shut down before, hey, what ASINs you get? But really just look out for those publishers. And then if it does show up highly likely counterfeit, just, you know, consider that as, you know, helpful information with Books Run. Are there any publishers specifically targeting those highly likely ASINs? Yeah, it's the ones I just mentioned. There are other publishers that will do counterfeit without test buy, counterfeit with whatever. I don't think there's too many that do counterfeit with test buy except for OZ. that to my knowledge, but there's a lot of IP complaints you'll get on others, and most of those are pretty harmless from what I've seen. Most of the IPs, there was one book, How to Not Be Gay. I'll never forget this. I was in Kroger and I get a phone call from Amazon, and it's an Indian. He's like, "Yes, I'm calling about the book you sent in, blah blah blah. It's an IP issue." And I'm like, "Well, what book is it? How to Not Be Gay." I'm just, what book is it? And that was an example of a book that really had no effect on my account health. And at scale, if you look at any bulk bookseller's account health dashboard, they have 30 plus complaints at all times. You take Mike's dashboard and multiply it by 20, you probably have one or two right now, if any. I don't know how many IPs you have, but I mean, just multiply it by 20. And that's okay, good. That's what these guys are dealing with. So, and there's ways like asking Mike's community, what should I do? Should I acknowledge? Should I not acknowledge? You know, there's different things you can do about that.
I think.
What do you do currently? You when you get a IP, are you in the boat of acknowledging or not acknowledging?
I acknowledge, but I mean, the last two I got were probably 2023, and those were for board games. I don't get them for books or CDs or DVDs ever. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if I've ever gotten one for a book, CD, or DVD. They're always for board games, and I stopped selling board games after I got like my second or third one. Some people can sell board games and get away with it. For some reason, whatever one I send in, they're looking out for me. They're like, shit, get this guy off the list.
Yeah. Is it Hasbro?
I don't even. The last one was a Jimmy Fallon game, and that was if I ever see Jimmy Fallon, it's on site.
Mm-hmm.
But I acknowledge. Yeah. I just acknowledge and move on. I have the account health though, right? Like you're saying that people don't understand, like, it's hard to, you're never going to get account health assurance doing this part-time because it's based on the volume you sell to raise that score. So you have to sell volume to be able to increase your account health. And then it gives you that extra added benefit in quotation marks. So I'm sure your ass can still get jammed up regardless of what your score is.
Yeah. And just like ask around. Things are always changing in 2025. Reach out to me if you have any serious account health questions. I have a really good rep that can help you. But the game's changed. So in the wholesale space with brands that do counterfeit claims, you never want to acknowledge it just because like you probably have invoices you can upload. And by acknowledging it, you're basically signing an agreement that says I'm at fault. But it's different for all categories and all cases. So if you're ever like, I don't know about this, reach out to me and we can help you out. You're dead to me, Jimmy Fallon.
Thrift store I was at today, there was somebody else scanning, and I felt kind, I don't know, dude. Like when you're out scanning, like I know you're not out there as much as you used to be, but maybe even back when you were, like, did you feel bad for other people scanning? Because like you just got this feeling like you got a full IKEA bag and they got like 3 books in the car. Like this person might be watching. I don't care, but like I don't know. For me, I was
well, that's why I said one guy was taking pictures of the book. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, and I'm like, how long you been selling for? And I thought maybe he might know me or something, and turns out he didn't even know really about selling on Amazon. But and then I had 2 experiences. I should have been recording the whole time. I need to get like a chest strap, but I'm sure you get this. This lady hovers over me as I'm scanning the DVDs, and the DVDs were hitting. I was getting like 1 or 2 for every shelf, and they're decent too. And this lady's just like hovering over. I'm like, do you want to look? I'm like, but I'm still scanning as I'm talking to her because I'm not wasting time. I'm like, do you want to look at these? And I'm going through, and then she like doesn't reply to me. She's got to be like 70 years old, and then she kind of like walks away, and I'm like, ma'am, do you want to like look? And then she's like, just take your time, everyone does. And I think it was because when you're like scanning a section, my volume was down, but if your volume's up, it sounds like you're in a casino. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
They in their head, in their animal brain, they think you're taking like the best resources, like, oh, because he's there. And this is kind of what you get at with the library sales. You're like, everyone goes to the textbooks and like nonfiction. I'm gonna go to the DVDs first. You're kind of like doing the opposite of what animal brain tells you to do. Animal brain tells you go directly where everyone else is going and fight like crabs at the bottom of the barrel. And part of it's true. It's probably like if you have seasoned resellers at a sale, they're probably going to the best sections first. But a lot of times just general shoppers will think that you're taking the best inventory, and really we're just taking the most expensive inventory. Like, does that lady really want to watch the most expensive DVD there that's like an action film? Probably not, you know. Or does she want to read the latest version of Campbell Biology in the textbook? Like, no, you know. But I think they know what we're doing, and they just like to give a shit because they wish they were making money. We've got several IP claims for DVDs, and we buy our media direct from authorized sources. That's great. In that case, I would just upload your invoices. If you get any claims, you should pass it just fine.
Yeah, and make sure your authorized sources are actually authorized sources, because if you submit shit that they don't like, that could open a whole nother can of worms. And they're going to ask for your supplier. So you gotta pick and choose your battles with Amazon, honestly, because they keep paper trails and all this shit. It's like these people that like, dude, remember like when you could like upload a selfie to get ungated in brands? Like you could just upload a blank piece of paper. You're like,
dude, I've heard that still works. Don't take this as advice, but someone in the community is like telling their students like tread lightly, but do that. And I'm like, okay, like if you think, I just have the fear of, I used to be that type of person. Like if you knew me a few years ago, like I'd be the type of, I'm still this way in a lot of things in my life where I'm like, fuck it, you know, whatever. Like I'll walk in, the place will say customers only for the restroom, and I'll just go in, and in my head I'm like, I'll come back in a few years and buy a burger or something. You know, like I'm not like super rule follower, but with Amazon now, I have the fear that if you do stuff like that, then let's just say you make this a really serious thing and you're a full-time seller, if they ever do a deep audit of your account, I have the fear that they're going to go back and find that selfie of you, which I don't know, that'd be a really deep audit, but I'd rather just play it safe and just do what the community agrees is the best thing to do, or do most of the time what Amazon tells you to do is the right thing to do, you know, and that'll keep you safe. But spamming a bunch of invoices that are all different, the information changes each time, like that's going to trigger their AI in a bad way. You know, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, treat them like the IRS. If they come audit you, they could go back a few years, and you don't want to open up that can.
I treat them better than the IRS, man. I'm more scared of an account shutdown than I am of an IRS audit.
I'm the same way. I would agree.
I've made decent money, but I mean, okay, what are they going to do? Say I made an extra 100,000, and yeah, that sucks. I got to pay like 25 grand extra, maybe some penalty fees, but take away my Amazon account, that's my income. You know, I did a poll on my story. I'm like, are you more afraid of an Amazon shutdown or IRS audit? A lot of people said IRS audit, but I don't think those people are big. I looked at their accounts, and some of them were big Amazon sellers, and I'm like, you probably never been to an account shut down if you say that. Because anything different to be ungated for board games? Do you know what website works for board games right now?
Dude, it's tough out there. Everything I'm hearing in my group, they are declining everything from everywhere. They're not, Universal's impossible to get into. People are buying directly from Universal. People are buying from EE Distribution. People are buying from Alliance, and they're still getting declined. So I don't know what's going on in the back end with these gates with Amazon. Usually, you used to be able to get in with Target.com, boom, or even Hasbro.com or ParkerBrothers.com. I'm just saying, there's no guarantee. You can have the most legitimate paperwork. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get ungated. And there could be something even to, like, maybe Amazon now, maybe they just don't ungate based on the piece of paper. Maybe they want to see what your account history's been or something along those lines. But it's tough out there right now.
Yeah. And if you guys ever do have a brand, like I'm dead set on getting ungated. I've sent at least 3 or 4 people for Universal to the lady that I use for account health. And I'm going to follow up with her to see if she actually got them ungated. But she's gotten me ungated in some tough brands. And the stuff she does is not just uploading an invoice. It's uploading the invoice and then a PDF that explains the invoice that has like, hey, this is where the supplier is located. If they have like a special number for their like account or something. And like, she like lays it out line by line, and that's working right now. So if you guys ever come, like if you're always coming across Universal and you want to get ungated, just reach out to me on one of my, any social media, and I'll respond. Is there any chance GoToLister will work for auto printing on printers besides Rollo? We work for Dymo right now. Zebra would be the next one we do, but Mike and I are teachers in the space, and what we found is most of our new users come from us teaching this business, and they use whatever we recommend. So right now we're going to be.
I use 2 rolls, one for the shipping labels, one for the FN SKUs, swap them out. You can use the knockoff Chinese labels in the 4XL. You don't need the Dymo branded labels. Yep. Super cheap. And you can usually find one on Facebook Marketplace for like between $50 and $100.
That's a discontinued one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Dymo, because the new ones, you need the Dymo labels, but the 4XL.
It's one of those innovations that made their product worse. It's like Apple innovating the iPhone to make it only work with iPhone expensive chargers, you know. So that's personally why I'm not a fan of Dymo. I like Rollo, but they both work good. I think Dymos are actually a little bit faster, but Rollo, same story. You can use Chinese labels, super cheap. And I guess with 4XL, you can use both as well. But with the Rollo, you can change the size for shipping labels and for FNSKU labels. Yes, invoices make IP and counterfeit claims go away. So for all new stuff, depends on what invoices. Hopefully they're good. Hasbro hard gated, and even guys, even if you're hard gated, the lady I work with says she can get you ungated. I have a buddy right now going through a hard gate brand, so I've yet to see her get someone ungated in a hard gated brand, but she claims that's the case. How do I get Mexico, Canada, and Brazil off my Amazon account? Maybe turn off your global settings, like type in ChatGPT how to turn off global, but I don't see why you would want to do that. I just keep it on. You know, you might get a few sales here and there.
Cogwheel top right account. I think it's account settings. You can just put those marketplaces on vacation mode.
You keep it on though, right? Or do you not?
Nah, I'm US only, dude. America first, baby, and America first and only.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what product you're selling, but one of my friends is selling like 4,000 a month on his products, so I keep it on, but up to you. Which website's good for Ungate? Christianbook.com can get you ungated in CDs, DVDs, and any brand that is on that website should theoretically work for an Ungate. And just know for ungating, you need to send it like 15, 20 times. Like it's not just a one-time deal. And you need to make sure the address matches up to your Amazon account. There's 10 units or 100 units if that's what they're asking for. Most of the time it's just 10. And make sure everything's perfect, and then they'll reject it even if it is perfect, and just keep applying. And if that doesn't work, reach out to me. We've gotten ungated. I'm not sure what they're talking about.
All right, you know what? Let's say we're going to put Amazon Seller 99 on the spot, right? Me and Avery have put out millions and trillions of dollars of information for free. All right. So you got invoices that got ungated and universal. So why don't you spill the beans here and tell us when you got ungated and what site you used? Or you're going to be a gatekeeper and not let the people of the book selling community and the DVD selling community know what's going on. That's my challenge to you, Amazon Seller 99.
All right, we'll see. In the old books, were you sell? Yeah, we sell old books. Side Hustle Experiment, one of my most favorite, one of the only Amazon seller podcasts that exists today. But
this
great show.
Dude,
have you been on it?
Amazon influencer, I've been on it, but he lives right across the river from me. I'm in all of his old stomping grounds, crushing the Amazon influencer program. He put me onto some things too with that. And I still get paid every month with Amazon influencer, and I haven't been going hard at all. And he just put out a whole video covering it. It's pretty crazy the opportunities we have, and just kind of seeing him go from bulk books to OA to the influencer program. Like, it just goes to show, if you're willing to work and put in the time and understand what you're doing, like there's so many different ways we can make money on Amazon. Whether that's you making stupid 30-second videos, getting shit for free to your house. It's crazy, man.
Sources are secret, buddy. Well, I'll give you guys a secret.
This is what I mean. Come on, get this guy out. Security.
Usually any website that is big, you mentioned some earlier, Target, even christianbook.com, those will work for ungates. It's just a matter of being persistent. And like I said, these days you do have to sometimes upload a PDF, open certain cases, different things like that. But if you're really driven to get ungated in a brand, you can 100% do it. Even textbooks, the whole reason why restrictedinventory.com survived for years was, at first, luck. My account was grandfathered in, but as time went on, I partnered with a seller who went through the same exact shit I went through. And what did he do? He got hard gated in textbooks, wasn't able to request approval. He contacted the brand or the law firm that represents the brand and worked a deal out with them and got them to send a letter to Amazon. So like, there's always a way, 100%. It's just, do you want to deal with that madness? And most of the time it's not worth the case if you're just a part-time seller and you can't sell Disney. Maybe it's just a matter of saying, that's a bad example because Disney's pretty easy to get ungated, but maybe it's something you don't come across that often, so it's not worth putting a week or two in to figure it out. I buy from brand and send inventory to Amazon. It's become Ungate brand all listings. Okay, that sounds good. Sounds like good things are happening. I have a couple fancy and old Bibles, but I don't know the price of this one. These Bibles are about 59 years ago. Yeah, look them up on Keepa. Go
Even
to
Google, just
Amazon.
Google the damn thing.
Yeah.
Type the year,
Yeah.
type if it's like whatever the initials are, KGV, SVB, 666, whatever the hell the Bible is, just Google it and you'll get results.
Yeah.
Someone will have it listed somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You say year 666. For toys, go to New York City Toy Fair and talk your way into some of the brands. They say they won't sell the marketplace, but if you're a salesperson, you can get some. Yeah, what it comes down to in all of this, I just had lunch recently or dinner with my friend who does consignment in San Diego. He runs consignment with libraries all over the country, not just in San Diego. And most of resellers would not be able to land a consignment deal with a library. Why? You're walking in there, you look musty, you don't smell good, and you're a problem for them. You're like, I'm going to sell your books, I'm going to pay you once a month, blah, blah, blah. They don't believe you. But if you go in with a binder and you show them, hey, I'm going to take these books, I'm going to buy them, blah, 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 they're going to say no. But then if you come back in a month again and say, hey, I sold all the books I showed you a month ago, this is how much profit we made, this is how much profit you guys could have made if you signed up, and just stay persistent and show that you're not going to be a burden. You're actually going to make their lives easier. They'll work with you, but it's more of a burden most of the time. And back to his point about the toy distributors, this goes for any Amazon event. Alibaba's happening right now in Vegas. I might stop by, but most of these actually Chinese suppliers will sell to anybody because they're making profit regardless. They're ready. But brands in America don't want to sell to Amazon sellers because most Amazon sellers rip a $20 order and then ask for 100 different details, ask for the invoice to be edited 5 times because they didn't get their proper information put on it. It's just like the company's losing money. But if you go to them and you're like, hey, I'll spend 50 grand right now, no questions asked, even if they said they were not going to sell to Amazon sellers, now they're open to it. It's not that they're not open to selling to Amazon sellers. It's most Amazon sellers suck, and you got to make it past that barrier. And this goes with books too, at libraries, backroom access. Most of the time resellers are weird and they're leeches rather than providing value. But if you dress, you don't even have to dress up nice, just don't smell bad. And then go up, talk to them, get the backroom access, make their life easier, carry the books out to the front that need to be carried out, organize their books into different categories. Like these are all things you can do. Text them once a week, bring them pizza, bring them coffee, whatever. All of a sudden you're adding value to them. And when the old man dies down the street that has a bunch of Bibles from year 666, now what you can say is, hey, I'll just go directly to his house and pick them up. And then whatever you guys want, I'll take care for you. You know, this is business. This is business 101. And most people that don't make it on Amazon just aren't very good at business in the first place. And luckily it's a skill that you can develop. You can work harder on it over time. So
yeah, get some Old Spice.
Yeah, exactly. I keep it right here in my car at all times. I buy from Brandon. Okay, we already read that one. Disney's easy. I think Disney's easy to get. Now I haven't looked into it too much in 2025. Maybe
it's hard gated. It's hard gated for a lot of people.
Okay. In the past, it wasn't. So,
yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I could sell it, but I know for a fact a lot of smaller part-timers, it's hard gated. It won't even let them apply.
Yeah, and then even with that, like I haven't done too much research on it, but maybe look, can you sell any Disney like out of all the UPCs? And maybe there's a path because with some brands you can apply in certain UPCs. So if but it's like, how much is Disney really going to bring to you? You know, like, is it going to be that much? Like when I first started restricted inventory, I think Max is kind of in this state of mind right now. I was like, I'm going to get ungated in every single brand that people send to me. So people would send me one Disney DVD and then I'd pay $100 to get it ungated. And it probably was profitable for Disney, but I would do that for every brand. And after a while, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I should probably just say no to certain brands from the front because it's just not worth it. And I think other sellers should do that too. Like find your niche, zone in on that. If there's a couple brands you're going to get it in, great. But don't think you got to get ungated in every single one. And there's other websites you can sell to. You can sell to Booksrun. You can go to bookscouter.com. You can go to dealoz.com, type it in and get these quotes and just sell back your book or whatever it is. I even offer 7 container order to a brand. They refuse. Even they sell just 70, 90 per month. Some Chinese sellers that I've worked with want like a minimum order of like 30,000. Like it's crazy. So, which kind of protects Amazon sellers in that sense. But brands just don't want to deal with you if you're a pain in the ass. You know, they're trying to make their money too. That's a Funko requirement to buy directly. They require 50K minimum commitment. Otherwise, you're buying from Alliance for a 20% premium. You don't need to buy from Alliance. For this, for Funko Ungate, I guarantee I could ungate it in Funko for less than $200 if
Funko
I
is
just
our
did some research.
generation's Beanie Babies. There's so many of them, and they ain't worth shit. The majority of them, 99% of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've scanned a decent, and I don't really think I found any out of the ones I scanned. Is there an option to have more than one person listing with GoToLister? Yeah, just open up separate batches, I recommend, or you can do the same batch, but you'll have to refresh to see which books they listed.
Are
I
you
would
ever
just do
going to
different
roll out like
batches
an
for them.
employee feature for GoToLister where the employee can't see like the sales
Yeah,
dashboard?
yeah, I just don't think it's that big of a deal, but it probably wouldn't be that. That'd be more like, especially when we go the prep center route, which we're kind of prep center friendly right now. But that would be like, we'd kill two birds with one stone with that one. But I think if you're hiring someone who's going to actually go take action on your business, they're probably not going to stick around long anyway because they're entrepreneurial. That's just my opinion. You know, just don't wear nice clothes around them. Don't put deodorant around them. Make them think you're poor. You know?
I'll never have an employee. Unfortunately, I got to put Mike as the person listing it every single time. But somebody in my group asked about it. He does have employees listing.
Yeah. Thanks for your referral, Avery. The guy you referred, Ungated, very transparent and knowledgeable to my questions about Ungated account issue. Nice. Good. You guys can reach out to me at any platform, but romermartinllc@gmail.com is a good one. I don't even get commissions. I need to negotiate that. What scanner are you using to source? I just use my phone right now. Mike, you do use a finger scanner.
Hell yeah. This exact one, there's a bunch of different ones. EOYO. Links in every YouTube description video. I swear by these things. I got one up here for listing, one in the car for sourcing. My wife's got one in my last YouTube video. She painted her, so it's like pink and white polka dot. You can do whatever you want with these things.
Nice. GoToLister is definitely the best listing software right now. The others just clunky and require too many clicks per unit. Yeah, we've really stepped it up recently. I think the batch creation, I didn't realize how big of a deal that was, but I've saved so much time when I create my batches. All the information auto-filled.
I die on the hill of every single software doesn't have the support or content creators, or I mean, I guess besides the boxing guys, because they pump content out like crazy, but like I think to myself, like if you go message any of these softwares, whether it's listing, repricing, whatever it may be in the Amazon space, you're waiting forever to get a response. You're probably getting a response from somebody that's not knowledgeable. And that is the complete opposite of like what's going on at GoToLister. Like you have a community, you have people like myself who are knee deep in this shit every single day that'll answer any single question, that put out content based around it. Like that is the huge difference maker to me. Sure, it's the best when it comes to listing, but for me as a consumer side, like if I wasn't a content creator, like I would just look for, okay, I got a problem. Can I get my answer, or can I get my question answered by somebody that's actually going to take care of it? Like nobody else, you can reach out to the actual developer and be like, yo, dude, what's going on? And he'll actually respond and look into something for you.
Yeah, 100%. And our new support, Zell, has been doing great. She's been doing phone calls with people, hopped on the phone. And I found out she did this on her own. She was calling people to make sure they got their refund, right? So like if someone wanted a refund and we couldn't send it to them for XYZ, she was calling them, making sure they got their refund. And I was like, how about we also do the opposite and call people who owe us money? And she's gotten $1,000 in like failed payments just by calling people and get them on the phone, which also encourages them to get back in the business because they're like, oh shit, I owe you guys like $50 or $500, whatever it is. But she's been great at doing that. And speaking of refunds and stuff, GoToLister, you can also download the batch data, take a picture of a box, upload it if your inbound inventory has discrepancies, and make a case on Amazon and get your money back. You want to talk a little bit about that? I think that's pretty cool.
It works 50% of the time, all the time. No, it actually has worked for me, and somebody in my group put me onto this, and and now multiple people actually do this. So if you go into your Amazon shipments tab, you're looking for boxes that are the status is closed, right? Because if it's receiving, the numbers can still change. We're looking for ones that are closed where the units expected is different than the units located. So if they shortchange you, which happens from time to time, think about it. These people probably are scanning in thousands and thousands of items every single day. You actually can go to that specific batch, right? You correlate your FBA shipment. You can have your batch name. I usually just do box 1, box 2, or whatever, but you still will have your FBA shipment ID. You find that in GoToLister. You appeal that the missing units are missing. What you do is you submit the actual file that you download from GoToLister for that specific batch. I upload a picture of the Lowe's boxes that I use because these are the only boxes I use in case they do go back and take a look at it to see, hey, let's see if we can see it on the cameras and see if that box is actually there. So I got the GoToLister batch contents. I got the box. The GoToLister batch is not an invoice by any means necessary. It's just saying that these items were in there. Another thing.
Yeah, dude, I think Amazon's going this direction, which you're harping a lot of things that I'm seeing in the ungating world, because I talked to this lady on the phone like 2 hours a week that helps people with ungates and account health. And what she's recommending is people take pictures of the photos, and she's uploading another PDF that Amazon doesn't ask for that explains the whole picture. And so I think what the GoToLister batch data is accomplishing is, oh shit, this looks official. And so Amazon, the more official you can make it look to Amazon, the better. If you I guarantee you, if you upload 10 receipts that have like coffee stains on them versus 10 receipts without coffee stains, the ones without coffee stains are going to do better. It's all about perception. Perception's reality. Most of the time what we're dealing with is AI. So are all the boxes checked with whatever they're requesting? And I think what GoToLister batch data does is it shows every single ASIN in the title, the quantity, and the AI just picks up on it. And then if it ever does get escalated to a person, they're like, holy shit, this person knows what they're doing. It looks legit, so.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. People have gotten, hundreds, thousands of units back. What do we download? The pack group? It's let me see here. Let me lock it real quick.
Batch data, I think is what it's called.
Data. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is too.
I think it just says download, right?
Yeah, let me see. History, box 4. Yeah, just download. It'll come out as a CSV, and it'll have literally everything. What you listed it as, the ASIN, the condition, the date listed, the total list price, the FN SKU that you put on there. It's got everything that you need to have. So like Avery was saying, it comes off as super official, and you would like it. This is not showing that you actually bought these items from somewhere. You're just saying that, hey, I sent these items. And I think the consistency of the box, as stupid as it is, I can sit here and say every single box I ever sent you guys is a Lowe's box that's 16 by 12 by 12. Here's exactly how much that box weighed when it came in your door, and it's worked.
This guy's always asking off the wall questions, but how to get brand exclusive to Amazon only? How much can I offer to plan? It's the same thing. I'm always going to rope this back in to reselling. It's the same thing as working with libraries or thrift stores on consignment. Like, what's in it for the thrift store or library to give you their best books? Consistent monthly payments, reports if you can make them, consistency in showing up on time, scanning their books, taking their dud inventory. With brand exclusive, and there's a bunch of people on IG talking about this now. A lot of them speak at my event in Miami Sellers Conference. The real answer is provide value to the brand. And this is just business 101 again, but it's like, why would a brand that could sell on Amazon themselves want to sell to you? The only reason why is if you make their listings better, update their catalog for items that are fast moving, but they're not currently on Amazon. Make sure they stay in stock, manage the whole operation for them, run PPC campaigns, update their listings, better photos. Like, it's the hard shit you have to do. And most people just want to stay in this comfortable realm of not doing the hard shit. But in order to scale any Amazon business, you eventually got to start doing the harder shit. Like making a YouTube channel and getting a whole community and talking to them fucking 50 times a month like Mike's doing. That's hard. There's not a whole lot of Mikes out there. Or me, like people try it, but then it's too hard to do. So like everything in business that's like a little bit hard is probably the right direction, because now you're dealing with barriers to entry and stuff like that. So in any city, medium to large size city, I think there's sources that can make you hundreds of thousands of profit a year, but those sources aren't going to show themselves to you on day one when you walk in. You have to keep going in, keep talking to the people, dig around. It might be a good source without talking to anybody, but you just got to go through all the bad sources first to find it. So one of my dogs farted. Smells terrible in here, but was that you?
Yeah, divorce on the way instantly. I know, right?
We already know what dog that is too. That's bad. It's bad when you know what dog farted.
I'm gonna get stuff.
She's gone.
She's
She
leaving
ain't coming back.
It was me, guys. My preferred Bluetooth scanner. This is Mike's. If you guys, somebody was asking about that, go check that out. Show Mike some love. He'll get 5%. He'll get He'll get $1 if you guys sign up to that link. What do we download? Pack group? No, it's called it was called download, right? Download. In the batch it says download.
Yeah, you just click on the box, find the box, and then download.
That's Dom for you. Thank Dom for the simplicity to go-to lister, because I like to think I make it a simple software, but all of my ideas he simplifies 10x. So even it took me forever to convince him to do that drop-down menu for the schedule send. He was like, it's way too many buttons. He did not like that, but I think it's been helpful because it prevents a couple of visits to the computer. Are you using that, or do you still just send?
I send so many boxes that it's by the time I list my last box, I can start sending the batches from my early.
Oh, it's
box.
ready. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I think what we might try and do, what you do when you click send now is it tries pretty quickly, and if it's ready, it'll send it. But if it's not, like if there's some SKUs that aren't yet created, it does take its time. So send now is pretty good, actually. Like really, when you're clicking send now on GoToLister, what you're doing is send now if ready, and it can take a long time if it's not ready. The first old version of GoTo that we had, by old I mean earlier this year, it would just pull all the error items within the first 5 minutes. And what we found is let's give it more time, and if there's like half error items, we don't push it through until it's ready.
I sent a little under 700 units this past week, and I had only 1 or 2 errors. So the errors should be non-existent as long as you're giving it a little bit of time. When I buy a little bit of time, at least 30 minutes to an hour. But yeah, if you're part-time and you just list one box, then just hit send later, walk away, go do whatever you're doing. Maybe you work a job. Maybe you just don't feel like, you're not sitting around listening to all this shit like I am every day. Then 100% it makes sense, because then you don't got to worry about it. It takes care of itself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, maybe in the future when we have the scanning app, you'll actually list in store, because by then what'll happen is you'll click on it and it'll just add it to the batch.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm ready for, man. I'm just like scan, accept, hit a little button right there on the screen. Boom, I'll just have those boxes in the car ready to rock and roll.
And see, like my vision, I'm gonna keep pushing videos until this becomes a norm, but my vision is eventually people do that in store. You can do it in store right now with the GoToLister mobile listing app, but when we have the scanning app, it's gonna be even easier, because you'll scan the book, it'll turn green, you'll click list. And by the time you get home, even if it's only an hour, when you scan the book into the batch, you're really not even scanning into the batch. It's already been scanned in the batch. You'll scan it into the box content phase. And somebody's calling me. My mom declined. I'm on YouTube Live, Mom. By the time you get home, you'll scan it in the box content phase, and that FNSKU is going to be printed. So it's going to feel like the old days when you could scan and label. And so that flow should be coming back. It's already back for some people, but I want to make that the norm.
What about this? I got a crazy idea, right? So we're going to be listing our items on the fly, right? When we got the scanning app. What if it recognizes that you're about to hit before you hit 50 pounds? So maybe you just do one box, like how I do one box at a time. Like, what if it says, oh, you're going to pass 50 pounds, right? Because it has the data in there, right? Based on the fees, how much an item weighs. The scanning app will have, the fees and how much the item weighs when we have the scanning app. So theoretically, I know the weights are not always right on Amazon. I don't know, dude. I'm just crazy idea that, hey, maybe if we're just doing one box at a time, that when we get close to 50, it pops up, hey, this will put your box over 50 pounds. Do you want to
do we have estimated weights right now on the box content phase, or no?
I don't think so. Actually,
I think
no, you're right.
We're going to do it.
We do. No, we do. 100%.
Okay. So we could do that. My problem is years ago when we would run into the same problem at GoToLister. I used AccelerList back in the day, and I used to actually send the boxes with the estimated weight, and I got in trouble with Amazon because it was like way off. So that's my pushback against that, but we could definitely do it. Like if enough people want it, and I would test it, and if it gets close enough to it. But
yeah, you're right. I just clicked a random one, and it was one box and the estimated weight was 56.89 pounds. So I know it wasn't over 50 pounds. So it does seem like the weights are screwed up and we can't fix the catalog. So I guess that's a shitty idea. Take it off the board. We never talked about it.
I think, I mean, you're gonna look like a dork doing this, and I look like a dork when I did this. But when I was really like full time book mode, this is how I'm making a living. I used to get the Lowe's dolly, expandable dolly, and it has like a bungee cord. So I would bungee cord 2 boxes on there, 1 box at the bottom, 1 box at the top. The box at the bottom, I would write no FBA on. And whenever I scan a book where I'm like, holy shit, this is good, but I'm going to forget what to price this at, I would put it in the no FBA offer box. That way, when I got home to list it, back then the software didn't tell you if there was no FBA offers. So then what I would do is manually price them. So, but I was putting all the good books in the top box that didn't have no FBA offers. And so I was basically like, if I was listing the book in store, like we're talking about, that box would be ready to go, you know, by the time and we can kind of eyeball boxes and see what the weight's at. All right, let's see here. What sales rank? Yeah, it might be good to get the estimated weight in the batch because you and I are teaching the 1 box method a lot. So most people are probably using GoToLister that way. Currently, it's only in the box content phase. What sales rank? We can still prefer like 500,000, still want. Well, you're always asking questions about all products. So all products are different, but books generally 1 million sells about 10, 15 times a year. So I don't have to say under a million.
I listed a book on 720, which is what, a month and a half ago. When I listed it, it was ranked 3,029,000 and it already sold. I think this is a hot take and I don't care. Rank don't mean shit. It doesn't even need to exist. We're worried about the sales score and what we can get for the actual item. And if there is no FBA offers, because that plays a factor. And we were talking about earlier, we were talking about how if we don't pay attention to the buy box, maybe the buy box has been so inflated for the past 6 months that it hasn't sold. So theoretically, when you look at the data, you see, oh, well, this book doesn't sell. But then I come in, I buy it because I see, all right, this is an opportunity. There's no FBA offers. I list it on GoToLister. I look at the Keepa. You can see, all right, well, it hasn't sold in 6 months. But if I look back at 180 days in GoToLister, it actually last sold for $20. And Romer's got it listed for $10,000 because he don't know what the hell he's doing selling on Amazon. So we list that item that is a high rank, but price it at the price that it last sold at. All of a sudden, your 3, 4, 5, 6 million ranked books will sell within a month of them actually getting there. That's why there's levels to this game now and understanding.
Yeah, it really is understanding that like the book's inflated, but that doesn't mean it's a bad book. If you price it at the inflated price, sure, it might sell eventually, but if you price it at a good price, it's going to sell pretty quickly. That's what I'm like. Right now, I feel like we're in the age of AI that they are liberally letting us use their technology, and I think it costs way more than we pay them. I pay $20 a month. You probably don't pay anything to ChatGPT, but I pay them $20 a month. They still tell me I've uploaded too many images. But what I'll do is I'll upload images, have them translate it to another language. I'll upload images, have them redo my backyard to make it look the way I want. You could upload images of Keepa and train it to read Keepa. So I think something we might try and do once we get the sourcing tool is use AI to look at Keepa graphs. And that's assuming that they keep the prices for AI low, because I've heard that it costs like a gallon of water per question you ask. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but the environmentalists are saying that. But what we could do is like, here's a Keepa graph. The buy box used to be $49.99. The used price is hung out at $20, and you see these consistent sales. The buy box comes and goes. Therefore, it would assume that it sold out at that price, or the FBA offer was priced too high, so there was no buy box. And then given all that data, I would give you like a suggested price. I think that'd be pretty cool to do something like that.
I agree. I think it's just little things like that that can change your business and kind of put a shit ton of money in your pocket based just on your average book scanner that, you know, started selling around when I did in 2019, and it was the Wild West, and you could just go scan with your earbuds and make a whole bunch of money. I think the game has changed, and it's benefiting people that are spending the extra second to look at the phone, actually using a software where you can see the Keepa graph and spending the 2 or 3 seconds per item when you list. Even if that's 1,000 a week like I do some weeks, it adds up. I promise everybody.
Yep. Roz is saying, "Can you just take it on average?" On average is like when you mess with averages, you get screwed. Textbooks can weigh $7 per, and some of those are paperbacks. So I think be more precise with it. Speaking of averages, years ago, he's actually one of my good business partners now, but years ago, I felt like I got scammed by this one bookseller. He sent me a bunch of books. Average sales price was like $20 plus. Average rank was like 700K. Turns out all the books that were higher priced were like 5 million ranked books, and all the fast movers that brought down the average sales rank to 700K were like $10 books. And so on average, it looked really good, but I ended up getting screwed. But he made it up to me. He sent me a bunch of textbooks, and we split the profit on those. And now we're actually really good business partners to this day. But that's just a general concept. You want to look out for average errors, because you can't just like go to somebody and tell them, hey, or them tell you, hey, my average inventory is 500K. It's like, well, let's really look through all these and see like which items are priced at for different sales rank ranges, Gene Miller saying, shout out to Zell and developer for fixing my webpage. Yeah, Zell's great. Off to center that. Well, I got the Grand Canyon to hit up. What you got there, Mike?
I got nothing. We're letting you go to the Grand Canyon, dude. Don't fall in. All right. You just got married. You got dogs. Don't fall in. Don't walk on the glass platform. If you do, make sure you got a parachute on your back so you can be like Tom Cruise and survive or some shit.
Yeah.
Last one, Phoenix Flippers. If I'm brand new to used books on Amazon, what is the best way to source? Be super cheap. Go to every local thrift store, like Avery was saying earlier. You don't know until you know. When I started, I kept a little stupid pocket calendar in my driver's side car door. I would write where I went, and Romer's dog is clickbait. That's my wife in the chat. Listen, we got to get views some way out here, Dev. Like they don't want to see our ugly mugs and us over here flexing our muscles. They want to see the cats and the dogs of the universe.
Little baby girl.
All right, we'll talk final thoughts. Give me your final thoughts. Jerry Springer, final thoughts from Avery before we go off this live.
Final thoughts about the chat or just everything?
Anything in life, dude.
Well, I would say, to build on your question or Phoenix Flippers questions about what's the best way to source, I think going to library sales accomplishes a few things. I'm always thinking about the psychology of people. And the psychology of most beginners is like, this whole thing's a scam. Mike's scamming me. Avery's scamming me, especially me, because I'm posting all these videos of me in thrift stores on Instagram. Steve's going viral with his mom. And this whole thing can seem like a scam. But when you go to a library sale, number one, you're going to have success because library sales have like raw donated books. Number two, you're going to see a bunch of people who are doing it successfully. And even though it feels like you're like crabs at the bottom of a barrel, you're actually able to see other resellers making a living doing this, and that shifts something in your mind. So I do think sending people to library sales is good, because all of a sudden it gets their brain thinking like, holy shit, like there's 20 people here and they don't even watch Mike the Used Book Guy and they're making money doing this, So that's my final thought on that. Regarding everything else, I think Amazon's changing a lot, and I think we just need to adapt and overcome this beast together. Don't be afraid of account shutdowns and gating, stuff like that. We're community, and we're going to get through it together, and come to Books and Beyond, booksandbeyondcon.com, get your tickets. Price only going up. Maybe in a couple of years we'll get Mike there.
Maybe when the con comes to Philly, then
we're definitely doing something in Philly. I'll probably come to you in Q4.
Yeah, let me
Heather
know,
says
dude.
thank you both. I'm brand new since July. Two of you taught me so much. Appreciate you, Heather. Zach says, before you go, what's the website that tells you the library sales? booksalefinder.com.
Yes.
And dude, check this out. I just put an ad that I paid them a lot of money.
Dude, I was just going to say, I swear to you, I was just going to say, because I was on there today. I said, why isn't there a go-to lister on here because I see all this other shit.
Oh, dude, my friend just got his Booksy Pro just got back up on here. I'm going to ask them to move ours down here because I like the bottom position more. But all these ads suck. Reprice It's ads not that bad. Scan Lister sucks. Like Amazon listing software. Scoutly's is the worst. Like those guys, they build a great product, but like what the fuck? Like Scoutly plus Turbo Lister database scouting. Like what? And then they have the referral program in the ad. And then you click on the ad. Hopefully they're watching this and they'll make the adaption. But what is this? Like, you're brought to a page that is just like, I'm not gonna read that shit. I don't even know where to sign up now.
That's why you crush the competition the way you do, because there's some effort put into things and it's not hard. The bar is very low.
But what we have here is, this is our ad now, and if you click on it, it gives you 12 secrets, really 13, to crushing library sales. A lot of these philosophies go against what Mike thinks, but this is my philosophies, and I've been over 70 probably in my life, just traveling the country. So, but what you can do is go to this website. Let's say you're from New York, because most people probably are on average, because New York City. You can see, and up there in the Northeast, it's worth driving around. So I would look at all these library sales, and then more importantly, I would go to your city. I would type in every library, like just Google search library in your city, and email every library, hey, when's your next sale? And if any of them have sales coming up that are not advertised on booksalefinder.com, prioritize those, because these are going to be filled with resellers, which is fine. You can still make a lot of money at them. You should definitely go to them. But the library sale that nobody else goes to is definitely better. It's weird. This guy's ad popped up after I clicked in. So college sales. Interesting. But
I should just get an ad of just my ugly mug.
Yeah. You could probably negotiate something with them. Dude, I would probably pay for an ad for you if you put GoToLister in there at some point. But the way I look at it is, like, people go on that website either because they're libraries, which I think libraries will watch my video and get tips, or they're resellers, and like they don't want to like read an information page on like, you know, how the scouting app works. They want tips for library sales. So that's why I put that there.
All right, before we wrap this up, everybody, if you use GoToLister, our call is this Saturday. I'm going to be talking about kind of change my philosophy a little bit on getting the buy box quicker as a new seller. Without the buy box, you're only getting about 10% of the sales you normally would. So this Saturday, all GoToLister call. Everybody's invited. If you got it, you can come ask questions. I'll cover my topic in the beginning. It's a bunch of just book, CD, DVD, media sellers out there kind of brainstorming, kind of having a big chat every single month. Another added benefit, you don't pay anything extra to talk to me every single month with GoToLister. Avery takes care of that. He pays me 7 figures a year over here, right? So he takes care of that just so you guys can listen to me ramble for an hour.
Heck yeah, I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right, dude. Peace.